From the cornfields of Iowa to the hills of Bristol, Tennessee, the Right Lane Cup Series returns for its fourth race of the season here at Bristol Motor Speedway. The track has gone to the nickname the Last Colosseum for several reasons. The close quarters action, the bent fenders, and the hurt feelings will give us 125 laps of heart-stopping, grueling action here in Bristol, Tennessee. The fans are packed in, the drivers are ready to go, and we'll go ahead and get you your starting lineup here. Derek Hamill will be starting on pole in the Schuler Systems number 47 Chevrolet, with Angel Gutierrez to his outside. Several cars will be starting to the rear, including Henry Thomason number 36, Zachary Fitzwater, the Wisco Motorsports cars as well. And you'll notice several cars in the back of the field had pretty poor qualifying efforts. Here we have Charles Sanford, Peter Onjak, Lane Sanders, Vince Freeze. All of them will be starting deep in the field. Don LaPratt as well. Taylor Frey and J.D. Martin will be starting in the back. The drivers are ready to go. We'll go ahead and get your command to start engines.
Please welcome Las Vegas Raiders quarterback, Derek Carr. Drivers, start your engines! Let's go!
Will now lock himself into the next year's clash at Daytona with this pole. Angel Gutierrez will start to his outside. Gutierrez has had a lot of good qualifying efforts this year in that number 58 Subway Ford. The pace car is off. The green flag is waving. We are racing here. The fourth round of the Right Lane Cup Series is underway here at Bristol. Already no quarters given for the second position. That is Alexander Phoenix moving Gutierrez outside, but Derek Hamill now puts a good distance between himself and Phoenix, and Derek Hamill will lead the first lap here at Bristol. Behind them, though, it is cars they're trying to single out as quickly as they can because Bristol is a bottom feeder track. You will see, man, Nicky Martinez has gone out of shape coming out of turn number 2. Was able to hold on to it. That was a fight for the 16th position. But Bristol is a sort of bottom feeder track. Early on, these guys are going to fight to get to the bottom. But as we go on, the top is going to start to come in. And you're going to see teams be able to hold off each other coming out of the corners. They're going to build runs coming off this banking. But for now, we're seeing the top about a dozen or so single out. This is Luke Evans on the 43. Mac Johnson slips up. That almost... Evans tries to go to the inside. Lapel McDermott, the number 22, that is for the Finguy Paisami car. Logan Cloud, Cody Goforth, Gutierrez. The top 20 has started to single out. The next double file back is Jesse Turner and Vince Freeze, who has not really been able to shake up much since his win at Daytona. Freeze is trying to get a lot going, but Ben McDonald is right in front of him. McDonald almost won last week at Iowa. Of course, got into Jeffrey Finguy on the last corner of the last lap, relegated him to a 7th place. We spoke to Ben during this week. He felt very disgusted, and he said he wanted to get back. He wanted to get back to another short track because he said this is the same car they brought from Iowa. They repaired it over the week very quickly because Ben loved it so much. But it's clear to me that he is just not able to make up any ground so far. But meanwhile, back up front, Derek Hamill is now holding a 0.6 of a second lead over Alexander Phoenix. Angel Gutierrez is back in third, a second and a half back. Nick Breeding is running fourth. Probably one of the best runs Breeding has had all year. He was able to get a top 10 last week at Iowa. I believe it was in 8th place. And we had spoken to Nick during the week, and Nick was very optimistic about how the team did last week. They all got top 10s. Breeding, Ben McDonald, and Charles Sanford in the 20. But Nick told me, he said, I want this team to be a championship contender. I believe I can come out here and take the points lead. And I told him that it would be a tough order. He said that's what we'd like. We want it to be tough. It shows what we're really made of. Another Ryan Griffin back here in 5th. Griffin is holding on to a really, good run. And Griffin has, had an up and down season. The season's still young, of course. Griffin had a horrible run at Daytona. He had issues early on. He got into a wreck. And then at Atlanta, I believe he finished 3rd or 4th. But overall, Ryan Griffin has been doing a really good job in that Little Caesars Chevrolet. But up front, the battle for the lead is heating up as we have caught lap traffic. That is Samuel England in the Go Navy Pontiac for Sanders Performance Auto Sports. That's Chris Martin's in the 05 Dodge. And up front, we got to fight for the lead. Derek Hamill is under attack from Alexander Phoenix. Hamill is going to let Phoenix go, it looks like. No, he's not. He drives Phoenix onto the apron. That brings Gutierrez and Nick Breeding onto the scene. Top four are now under a second away from each other, and this is not helping the case because the lap cars are now side by side trying to fight to stay on the lead lap. Derek Hamill has now got Phoenix and Gutierrez all over, but he can't move forward because Samuel England is blocking. Well, now he goes to the inside. He goes to the inside. Oh, Lord have mercy. England and Derek Hamill bounce off each other. That's going to allow Phoenix to get alongside. Phoenix had also made contact. What an absolute shuffle. But now here comes Angel Gutierrez to the inside of Alexander Phoenix. Gutierrez is going to get the second spot. That's going to bring Ryan Griffin onto the scene. Griffin made up almost 2 seconds on the leader. Now he's within under a second away. Now he's going to get fourth. It looks like here from Alexander Phoenix. Phoenix is dropping like a stone. But that is how this early version of Bristol is going to work. When there's no rubber on the top, you can't really build runs. You see here, Phoenix charged. He was able to stay on the outside of Griffin, but Griffin's going to prevail here and up in front of them. Nick Breeding has now bodied his way into second place. He moved aside Angel Gutierrez, who will slot into third. But meanwhile, Derek Hamill. What happened to Derek Hamill? Derek Hamill is having a problem. Derek Hamill, they said he might have had a tire go down. No, they said he blew a motor. Derek Hamill, the race leader, having an absolute miserable start to the year. This bad luck continues. The Schluter System Chevrolet is up in smoke on pit road. An absolute disaster for that team, and that's going to allow Nick Breeding to sweep away with the lead. Nick Breeding is now leading here at Bristol after 20 laps. What an absolute topsy-turvy run here at Bristol. But now the top three, this is now making things interesting because the top three is now within 0.3 of a second. Nick Breeding is first, Angel Gutierrez is second, Ryan Griffin is third, and you have to go back to Alexander Phoenix, who is in fourth, and Jeffrey Finguy is in fifth. Finguy has had some strong runs this year get absolutely ruined. He had a really strong car at Daytona get crashed. Atlanta, he had a really strong car and it got crashed. And Iowa, he got crashed on the last lap, not even fighting for position. Phoenix, oh Lord! Julio Caesar tried sending it in on our Alexander Phoenix. Phoenix clipped Caesar, and Caesar almost crashed. That's going to allow Asher Evelyn in the 99 to slip underneath Phoenix, but Phoenix holds on to the 6th position. This is an absolutely incredible race going on at Bristol. But up front, Nick Breeding has now gotten around Samuel England. England will be the first car to go a lap down, except for Derek Hamill because of his engine woes. Breeding, we spoke earlier about how Nick wanted to get up to the points. I told him it would be difficult. If he keeps doing this, and with Vince Freeze and Vince Freeze and Alexander Phoenix slipping back, this could be easier and easier for that number 54 team to come take the points lead. But it is going to be a hard road ahead of him. You see it. Look at that line of lap cars that are just not going to move away from him. Nick slides up in the corner. That's going to allow Samuel England to pull back to his inside. England is trying to unlap himself, but Breeding slammed the door on him. And that is going to be a big problem for Angel Gutierrez. That subway Ford is strong, but Gutierrez just cannot get around that number 24. Now he ducks to the inside. And meanwhile, Nick Breeding is in a problem of his own. He's got cars double file ahead of him. Gutierrez is now to the inside. It's going to allow Ryan Griffin to come for second. Caesar is here for third. Jeffrey Finguy is here for fourth. Contact between the 75 and the 8. Asher Evelyn's been brought back into the mix. So has Alexander Phoenix. I cannot believe what I am seeing. The top 10 are now, the top 8 are now within a second and a half of each other. This is absolutely incredible. And there's Logan Cloud, the winner last week, is hoping to go back to back. Has driven all the way up to the 8th position, looking to get 7th or even 6th here from the 62 and the 8. Gutierrez has gotten around Samuel England, but now has to fight the 05 of Chris Martins, because Nick Breeding in that time has put the 05 a lap down, trying to get the 19 of Stephen Colon, the Culver Chevrolet. But man, Colon sent it in there. And Chris Martins is all over Nick Breeding. Breeding got loose out of the corner. I've rarely seen teams do that. I've rarely seen cars slide out of the corners at Bristol without some sort of contact. But as we know, Bristol is a very contact-heavy racetrack, and we've been seeing a lot of it here. Jeffrey Finguy has slipped into the 3rd position. That 92 Nintendo Ford Mustang, you can see, has dents all across the right side of his race car. But I believe that is a rite of passage here at Bristol. That means that you went out and you tried getting positions the hard way. But Caesar and Asher Evelyn have fought up here. Logan Cloud has moved up into the 6th position around Ryan Griffin. His teammate, the 43, that's Luke Evans, fighting to get in. He's now 8th. And Alexander Phoenix continues to slip back into 9th. And Mac Johnson is now in the top 10. Now we have more fighting going on inside the top 10. Now Breeding has got caught up to 2 of the Wisco Motorsports cars. That is the 14 of Evan Marisi. The 05 is going to move alongside. Is going to allow Andrew Gutierrez through. Jeffrey Finguy goes underneath the 24 of Samuel England, trying to get that position. But Nick Breeding has now got the 58. Is going to make up a lot of time on this 54 Arizona Ice-T Toyota. You saw it was 4/10 that time. I think we're about to see it cut in half. Man, Breeding is struggling right now. That car is just not handling the way he wants it. He's trying different lines. Anything to get around this 14 car. But man, that is going to allow Gutierrez to close in. That time went from cut in half to went from 0.44 to 0.22 seconds. Gutierrez has got to try anything he can to get around Breeding. Chris Evans almost looked to the inside of the 58. Nick Breeding has had enough. He's going to go underneath Evan Marisi in that 14 Insurance King Chevrolet. But he gets cut off. Breeding has got to be frustrated because you know he is wanting to get around the lap cars. And now Andrew Gutierrez goes to the inside for the lead. Gutierrez looks. Breeding slips. He stays on the quarter panel. So does Asher. Andrew Gutierrez slides. Gutierrez gets put on the apron. Breeding is able to hold on to the lead. But man, that was close for that 54 team. Both those cars just could not get off of turn 2. Breeding slid up and Gutierrez slid off on the inside. And that was just an absolute, that was almost a catastrophe for the pair of them. But for now, it's lap 43. Nick Breeding is your leader. Asher Evelyn is 2nd. Jeffrey Finguy's 3rd. Logan Cloud is 4th. And Asher Evelyn rounds out your top 10. This is the Right Lane Cup Series 4th round here at Bristol. We will be right back after this commercial break.
You spend the day going in circles, and you earn the right to do one more. That's fuel for the soul.
During a 500-mile race, the Texaco Haviland race team will change the tires, replace the fuel, and adjust the suspension. But there's one thing engineered to go the distance: the oil. Haviland, race-proven protection.
Welcome back to the Right Lane Cup Series 4th round here at Bristol Motor Speedway. 48 laps are complete. Nick Breeding is your race leader and has led most of the way. He is leading. Andrew Gutierrez is 2nd. Jeffrey Finguy is 3rd. Logan Cloud is 4th. And Asher Evelyn rounds out your top 5. We had a couple of close calls during the break. Gutierrez had to do a lot of checking up because Chris Martins and Stephen Colon were both running him very hard. Meanwhile, Breeding has now opened his lead to a 1.38 second lead over the 58, 2 seconds over the 92, and 2.5 over the 89. Breeding's ill-tempered race car seems to have mellowed out here now that he's not having to force it around lap cars. Problem is, there are more lap cars ahead of him. Taylor Frey running 38th, Eric Marie running 37th, and Lane Sanders running 36th. And these cars have continued to fight over and over again. And that is not good for Nick Breeding, because it is going to allow it's going to do exactly what happened to him earlier, where it brought those cars, brought second, third, fourth, fifth, it brought the entire top 9 to Breeding at one point. But now we see Breeding has Stephen Colon caught up to him, trying to work that Texaco Havoline Pontiac of Lane Sanders. Breeding has shown his muscle. He has shown that he has a good race car. The problem is, it's just not good in traffic. Oh, man, Stephen Colon fought to get his lap back. Breeding's on the outside. Stephen Colon, the Culver's Chevrolet, gets his lap back. That's going to bring the 05 of Chris Martin's back to him, and look at that lead. It was 1.36 this time. It's been cut down to 0.6 of a second. But look who is on the scene. Logan Cloud, your winner last week at Iowa, started in the teens again, has worked his way up to the 3rd position around Asher Evelyn, and was almost around Angel Gutierrez that last lap. Nick Breeding, he is struggling now. He extended his lead again, but Chris Martins in that 05 has been hounding that Arizona Ice-T Toyota, trying to get his lap back. And for Breeding, this is not what he wants to see, because now the lead has been cut in half again. That's 0.4 of a second between the first and second place. Breeding is struggling, trying to keep that car on the bottom. You can see it running the outside. Chris Martins gets his lap back, and Breeding trying desperately to get this car sticking. It is sliding all over the place. Here comes Angel Gutierrez, the Subway Ford Mustang, onto the inside, gets put on the apron again. That seems to be Breeding's go-to move, putting that 58 on the apron. But Gutierrez now loses more time, 0.3 of a second now. But Breeding is struggling. Logan Cloud is up on the marbles. That's going to bring in Jeffrey Finguy, who's trying to have a good run. But Nick Breeding he's put a gap between himself and the 58. But if I were Breeding, I would be cautious, because you see they're starting to move up. They're starting to migrate up the track. As the tires are beginning to wear out, we're 60 laps into this race. You can see these cars have started moving up. It's rubbered up on the outside lane as cars have been running up there. And cars are starting to move up there and are able to build runs and hold positions. It's going to make passing a whole lot more difficult, which is why I believe track position matters. Man, Breeding slid off the corner that time, almost hit the fence, but that brought Gutierrez, Cloud, and Finguy all right back to him. The top 4 are within 0.8 of a second of each other, and man, this is absolutely not what Breeding wanted to see. Look at this mess. This is a hornet's nest of lap cars going all the way up to the mid-30s. And man, Breeding has run into them at the worst possible time. They're all fighting side by side. Man, look at the 15 trying to desperately keep a lap. Breeding goes to the outside. What does Gutierrez do? Goes to the bottom. Man, that's some contact. Some risky racing up here. The 15 and the 19 made contact. Taylor Frey and Stephen Colon. Breeding is under attack from Gutierrez again. Gutierrez hit the apron, but that time was able to stay alongside. Logan Cloud is moving up on the outside line, going to go around the 58 for second position. That's not going to work. Finguy moves to the inside. James Ellison blowing up behind them. The Operation Lightsaber Chevrolet is up in smoke. Tough break for the number 3 team, but things have mellowed out here at the front. Gutierrez has now moved back to 0.3 of a second behind Nick Breeding, trying everything to get that Subway Ford out front. But Nick Breeding is just holding them up. He's just able to defend his lead so well because he gets such a run off the corner. The only way I believe Gutierrez could get around Breeding is if Nick makes a mistake, kind of like that, and And man, look at Gutierrez go. Nick got stuck on the apron. Here comes Angel Gutierrez going around the outside. Angel Gutierrez is going to take the lead here on lap 68. Nick Breeding sends it in deep. He's not done yet, but Angel Gutierrez is going to get the lead. It looks like. No. Yes. Man, Nick got stuck on the apron. Here comes Logan Cloud. Cloud trying to go for 2 race wins in a row. To the inside of Gutierrez. Gutierrez slides up. Here comes Logan Cloud. Cloud takes the lead. Gutierrez and Breeding are now having to fight for second place. Man, Nick is just having a horrible time getting stuck on hitting that apron over and over again. But Finn Guy is now up to third. And now let's see what Logan Cloud can do. The NOS Energy Ford, they brought the same car they brought from Iowa that ran so well, was able to make up so many positions, and it is showing. Cloud's car is absolutely awesome out there. But man, that has brought Gutierrez, fighting the slap car has brought Angel Gutierrez back up to the 89. Let's see what they can do. Behind them, it is a fight for third between Breeding and Jeffrey Finn Guy. And this is just an absolutely amazing race here at Bristol. And that's the whole reason they built grandstands all around this place. Because you can see this track from anywhere you sit, and you can pick and choose whatever battles you like, and there are a lot of them. At Bristol, there's nowhere to run and nowhere to hide. But man, Logan Cloud is just is just trying desperately to get around this 15. How many cars have they actually put down? None. The only cars that are a lap down are the 47, the 3, the 24, and the 10. The 24 had an ignition problem that put them out of the race. The 10 blew a tire, and the 47 and the 3 both broke camshafts. But other than that, all the cars running on the racetrack are on the lead lap. And that has to be a relief if we get a caution. But it's not a relief for Logan Cloud because he has a bunch of hungry race cars behind him. Gutierrez, Finn Guy is fighting. You have Nick Breeding, Julio Caesar trying to back up a strong duel from Daytona. Ryan Griffin, Asher Evelyn has Luke Evans, Alexander Phoenix, and Christian Vargas. Christian Vargas told us earlier this year he wanted to make a run at the title. He felt he had the car to do so. And we're seeing it now. He is moving. Oh, look at going around the outside of Alexander Phoenix. 11th place is Jesse Turner, the third of the Lake Effect cars. Landon Thomas in the Chapstick Dodge is fighting him. He's in 12th. KJ Hayes having a strong run in 13th. Mac Johnson slips to 14th. Griffin Label McDermott's 15th. Ben McDonald 16th. Ryan Reed is 17th. Cody Goforth has the entire right side of his car gone. Stanley Andrews does as well in 19th. Dicky Martinez rounds out your top 20. Vince Freeze, who was your points leader, is in 21st. You have DJ Curtis in 23rd. Justin Henley is in 22nd. Rhodes Gray is 24th. RJ Bishops rounds out your top 25. Then you have Henry Thomas, Dunn LaPrade, Daniel Voles, Peter Onjak, and Evan Marisi round out your top 30. Then you have J.D. Martin. You have Chris Martins. And here is your leader, Logan Cloud. Cloud has put several cars a lap down. Lane Sanders, Stephen Colon, Taylor Frey, Zachary Fitzwater, and Charles Sanford, to name but a few. And that has stacked up. Look at this. The rest of the top 5, the rest of the top 10 are now under a blanket. Finn Guy. Whoa, contact between Gutierrez and Ryan Griffin. That is allowing Asher Evelyn to get here. Griffin had to use up the whole racetrack to get around the 58. But that has brought the second place all the way back to 8th into this. This brought the whole top 10 here. Look at this. Vargas is here. Jesse Turner, Alexander Phoenix. This whole line of cars is fighting from 2nd all the way back to 12th. But in the meantime, that's going to let Logan Cloud scoot away. He has put 4, 5, 6 lap cars between him and the rest of the field. And look at that. Clean racetrack. Almost a straightaway between him and the next car. That is J.D. Martin in the 66. And this is going to let Cloud extend his lead greatly. Look at that. 3 seconds. Now, we'll see it next time by. And meanwhile, Finn Guy is trapped behind Zachary Fitzwater. And Logan and Charles Sanford. Oh, we got a crash! Zachary Fitzwater's around! Spun, coming out of turn number 4. The caution flag is out. That is absolutely not what Logan Cloud wanted to see. Absolute disaster for here at Bristol. And man, just like that, there goes. Where did he go? There goes Logan Cloud's assured lead. The caution flag is out. Let's see what happened here. It's coming down the back straightaway. Fitzwater was 36th and was a lap down, trying to ride it out. Now let's see what Taylor Frey. Oh, Frey bounced off the. Taylor Frey got in the fence, wiped the right side of his car off, and Fitzwater just had nothing he could do, nowhere to go. And he just ran over the 15, and that is what I said about being nowhere to hide here at Bristol. That is a prime example of what could happen when you have absolutely nowhere to go. Running on board with Fitzy, he already had the front end of his car beat in. Man. Jeffrey Finguy and several other cars were so close to getting into that wreck. The caution is out here at Bristol, lap 85. We'll be right back after this commercial break.
From the entire Channel 4 News team, I'm Veronica Corningstone.
And I'm Ron Burgundy.
Subscribe to Right Lane Cup.
You spend the day going in circles. When you earn the right to do one more, that's fuel for the soul.
Caution is out here at Bristol. Our first caution of the day on lap 84. When Zachary Fitzwater hit Taylor Frey in the 15, spun the car out on the front straightaway, and continued rolling. We are now gridding up to go back to the restart. No cars pitted under this caution flag. It's lap 90 now. We have 36 laps to go. Your rundown is Logan Cloud, Jeffrey Finguy, Nick Breeding, Ryan Griffin, and Angel Gutierrez round out your top 5. This is going to be an interesting restart because, as we said, this racetrack is a really bottom feeder on the restarts. Let's see what Cloud can do. The green flag is back out. We are racing here again. Man, Cloud got a good restart. Finguy did not. Man, and Lane Sanders did not give him any room. Taylor Frey's not giving him any room. Finguy is getting shafted. Here comes Ryan Griffin using the lap cars to his advantage. No, he's not. Here comes Breeding's going to get his 3rd spot back. And just like that, Logan Cloud now has a solid buffer between him and the 92 Nintendo Ford. Finguy has got to be livid with these lap cars. Lane Sanders has not given him any room. As the front of his car beat all to pieces. And Finguy, let's see what if he's able to run down the 89. But meanwhile, Logan Cloud is just set sail. All he has is Chris Martin's in the 05, the last car on the lead lap, in 32nd place. Now all he has to do is just put time between him and the 92. That time he put almost half a second on him. He's trying to get underneath Lane Sanders in the 01. Looks like he might be able to, but Nick Breeding is now trying desperately to get around them. Ryan Griffin settles the 4th. Gutierrez the 5th. Asher Evelyn's the 6th. We have a pair of lap cars back to 7th place. That is Julio Caesar. Jesse Turner has slipped to 8th. Christian Vargas is 9th. And rounding out your top 10 is Luke Evans. All the Lake Effect cars have brought their A game to this race, running in the lead, and then you have 8th and 10th place. Really strong run by them. But Jeffrey Finguy has moved Lane Sanders away and is now going after Stephen Colon. If Finguy is able to do anything, he's going to have to do it now. We have under 30 laps to go here at Bristol, and those 30 laps will go by really, really fast. You'll believe me, it took us less than 20 minutes to go from lap 0 to lap 50. So I would not be shocked if when this race goes by quick. Finguy throws it in, almost crashes. Hits Stephen Colon. He's able to keep it going. What a save by Jeffrey Finguy. He is driving his absolute heart out trying to catch Logan Cloud. But the problem is he's doing more harm than good doing that. He just lost a full second to the leader doing that. Now he's got to re-rack him and do it all over again. But I believe Finguy is pushing really hard. Cloud is not having to do that. Cloud is just sailing. He is just holding down his lead. He is comfortable. He has no cars within probably 10 car lengths between him and the rest of the field. But man, let's see what Finn Guy could do. He cut down the lead from 1 second. He's cut the lead down by 3/10. Finn Guy is on a charge. That 92 is moving. We'll see what he can do this time. But that 92 car is absolutely, he is throwing it. You can see that car. You can see the right side of that car in the corners. Let's see. He lost time that time. Back to 2 seconds. But man, this might heat up. Logan Cloud has run down the back of the field. Oh, we've got trouble. Julio Caesar was in it. We've had a crash. Oh my lord, they're stacked up. Chris Evans just run into it. The caution flag is out. This is again not what Logan Cloud wanted. Cloud has just lost his lead. What on earth? We've had a lot of cars, and what happened? Mac Johnson was in it. Derek Hamill was in it. Lots of cars involved here. What on earth happened? Julio Caesar was running inside the top 10. Oh no! Oh my goodness! Oh, what a hit! Caesar caught the lap car of Charles Sanford. Oh, and Mac Johnson got hit. And oh, this is about to get ugly. Let's see. Everybody scrambles trying to avoid. So how on earth does the 05 get in this? There's a lot of cars trying to check up. It looked like, if we can get another angle here, it looked like Caesar was running 7th. It looked like Sanford, he didn't expect Sanford to run the top. Man, what a hit to that 75 car. And further back, yeah, Mac Johnson just got hit. And look, there's the picture, what we needed to see. J.D. Martin got pile driven by the 05 car of Chris Martin's. Absolutely did not stop for that mess. Riding on board with Zachary Fitzwater, he was a lap down after bringing out the first caution, and you could hear that hit. Riding on board with Mac Johnson, the JBL Toyota. Oh, man. Yeah, Johnson just had no clue. Johnson saw that. It looked like he moved up to go around it, and he just hit the 75 straight right in the right rear of the car. But nobody had it worse than Derek Hamill. He absolutely pile drove. Oh my goodness. What a hit to the 75. Caesar radioed his crew. He said he was okay, which is a really good sign. The caution is out here at Bristol. We'll be right back after this commercial break.
During a 500-mile race, the Texaco Haviland race team will change the tires, replace the fuel, and adjust the suspension. But there's one thing engineered to go the distance: the oil. Haviland, race-proven protection.
Caution is out here at Bristol the second time of the day, lap 107. Logan Cloud is your leader. Jeffrey Finn Guy is second. Nick Breeding's fourth. Ryan third. Ryan Griffith's fourth. Andrew Gutierrez is your top 5. We just had a massive crash here involving several cars. Julio Caesar was checked and released from the infield care center. Logan Cloud has got to run the race of his life if he wants to become the first multi-winner here in the Right Lane Cup Series. He has about 18 laps to do so. The green flag is back out. He has got to get away from Jeffrey Finn Guy. Can he do it? No, he can't. Cloud did not have as good a restart. Here comes Jeffrey Finn Guy. All the lap cars are running the inside and holding up a lot of positions. The first car on the inside is Angel Gutierrez. Let's see what Gutierrez can do. Loses all his momentum. Finn Guy clears to the inside. So does Cloud. Cloud is now trying to run away with the lead again. An absolute. It was the best thing it was the best Finn Guy could do, but Cloud has run away with the lead. Not for long. Finn Guy, Breeding, Ryan Griffin are all under a blanket trying to run down that NOS Energy Ford. Logan Cloud is stuck behind Lane Sanders. Sanders puts up a fight trying to stay on the lead lap. Man, this is about Sanders threw it in deep. He crowded Logan Cloud. Cloud trying desperately to hold on to the lead. He's going to get by. Now Finn Guy is in an absolute mess. Whoa! man, that was almost a catastrophe. Sanders and Taylor Frey got together. But now, Jeffrey Finguy has clean racetrack between him and Logan Cloud. Cloud has got to run for the hills. Here comes Jeffrey Finguy. Finguy is now on a hunt for the NOS Energy Ford. That is Logan Cloud. Nick Breeding has slipped back into the clutches of Ryan Griffin. It's going to be a two-horse race, I feel like, between Logan Cloud and Jeffrey Finguy. But Cloud has run down. He has lap car. The only lap car within sight is Stephen Colon. And then it's another good minute before you find any more. But Colon is slow. Finguy might be able to do something, but Finguy is fading. He is fading fast. He's lost. He was 0.6 at 2 laps ago. Now he's at 1.57 seconds. But it might close up again because Cloud has run up to the back bumper of Stephen Colon. We'll see. 1.94. No, Finguy is in the shambles. The Nintendo Ford has faded on these tires. Let's see what Logan Cloud can do. 10 laps of racing left here at Bristol. Can Cloud hang on? He has gotten around Stephen Colon. That was the one hope for Jeffrey Finguy. Finguy continues to lose pace. He is absolutely sliding in these corners. He just cannot get any grip onto the track. But Cloud has scooted away from Jeffrey Finguy. It is now 1.92 seconds. Finguy gained a little bit that time. But Logan Cloud, trying to go back-to-back, would be the first back-to-back winner in the Right Lane Cup Series history. Trying to be the first multi-race winner in the Right Lane Cup Series. And has a very strong case. Is trying to make a run at that championship. Let's see what he can do. 6 laps of racing to go. 7, excuse me. Logan Cloud is absolutely, he has gapped. He is maintaining a steady lead over Jeffrey Finguy and Nick Breeding. But Logan Cloud, the first half of the season was not kind to Logan Cloud. He has run up on lap traffic again already. But Cloud had a pair of really bad runs and then one last week. Basically had the win handed it to him. Cloud told us during the week, oh no! He's blown the motor! Logan Cloud is up in a cloud of smoke! I can't believe it! Logan Cloud has nuked the engine from the lead! Here comes Nick Breeding and Jeffrey Finguy! Finguy has inherited the lead! Here comes Nick Breeding! Unbelievable drama here late at Bristol! Cloud, they said the transmission broke on him! He can't shift it out of third gear! Oh, unbelievable! Nick Breeding has faded! He had to check up. I believe he got some oil. But here comes Jeffrey Finguy. Finguy has count the lap traffic. 3 laps to go here at Bristol for Jeffrey Finguy. I can't believe it. What an absolute heartbreak. But that has brought Nick Breeding and Ryan Griffin into the picture. 3 cars under a second. With 2 laps to go, can Breeding do anything? Griffin is throwing it in. That's not what Nick Breeding wanted to see. Jeffrey Finguy driving his life out here, right, coming to the white flag. 1 lap to go here at Bristol. Breeding has one last chance. He throws it in deep into turn 1 here, but Finguy is able to hold on to the lead. Can Breeding do anything? No, he can't. Coming out of turn number 4, Jeffrey Finguy and the 92 team. There's a crash. Jeffrey Finguy wins at Bristol. DJ Curtis got spun. Gone to the last, coming to the checkered flag. But for Jeffrey Finguy and the Finguy Kusame Motorsports team, this is an absolute redemption for them. An absolute heartbreaking start to the season has turned up roses for that 92 team. What on earth happened at the white flag? So coming to the checkered, J.D. Martin was rear-ended in that last wreck. He was 27th and crashed. DJ Curtis coming to the checkered flag, a second last lap wreck of the year here in the Right Lane Cup Series. Such a shocker for that team. But for Jeffrey Finguy, congratulations to the 92 Nintendo team and to that entire organization. This has been the Right Lane Cup Series Season 4 Season 1, Race 4 here at Bristol Motor Speedway. Thank you guys so much for watching, and we'll get you results here shortly.